Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be testing out some new blush launches from Essence. Actually, some blush and highlighter launches. So Essence dropped, I think, their version of the dupes to the Charlotte Tilbury. These come in like puff style applicators. They dropped these $6 blushes and $6 liquid highlighters. I picked up 3 of the 4 shades of the blushes, and I think there are 3 shades of the highlighter. I just ended up getting 1 because I felt like just this shade probably would work for me. So I thought we would test these out today, see how they look, see if they compare to the Charlotte Tilbury. If you guys are interested in these, right now they are only available on the Essence website. I did pick these up from the Essence website, so if you guys are interested in seeing the new Essence blushes, stay tuned. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about these. So here are the 4 shades. I will pop them up now. You've got Pinkalicious, which I picked up, which looks more maybe like a warmer toned pink shade. And then Blush and Berry, which is the deepest shade that I didn't pick up. Then there is Dusty Rose, which is actually the warmer toned pink shade. Sorry, Pinkalicious is like a cooler toned pink. And then the corally shade, Coral Crush. So it says these are supposed to bring a touch of color to your cheeks for a naturally radiant look. Sponge applicator, apply with a brush, a beauty blender, or your fingertips. Yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell, you guys. I mean, those are pretty simple. I love when Essence comes out with good dupes or just good products in general. They're pretty affordable. So let's swatch these out. It's just your standard puffy style applicator. And these ones, you guys, have a 9-month shelf life on them. They're made in Italy. That's interesting. And they're 0.33 fluid ounces. I just wanted to compare against the Charlotte. I have the contour wand here. These are 12 months, but these come with 0.40 fluid ounces. So actually, this is not much less product for literally $5.99. These ones have a little hole in them. Like the top, look at that. It has a tiny little hole where I don't think any of these other ones have holes. Like my Tarte doesn't have holes. These ones twist open and closed. I'm interested to see these be a radiant finish. They came out really nicely. There is Coral Crush. Ooh, they just like bloop out. They don't like soak the whole applicator. I don't know, I actually might like these better, that it just comes out of this little hole. That one is Dusty Rose. I like that Dusty Rose shade. I like the way that this comes out so much more. I hate to be a little bit of a hater, but I think it's like way more sanitary than the whole sponge soaking, like all of the product just coming out of the sides. And here is Pinkalicious. It's a nice range of shades for only coming with 4. I don't hate it. I want to blend these in to see what the finish looks like, see if it's like any bit of radiance, there's any patchiness. No, like not at all. So far, just blending them into my hand feels really good. They're not yet completely dry. I think the pink one is like the most rubbed in because I have the least amount of product, and it's the slightest bit of radiance when it dries down. See that? Like it's not super intense. All right, let's get these to the cheeks. Oh, they come off so easily. Also, I feel like I'm so pale today. All right, I might end with Dusty Rose. So let's go into the Coral Crush first. And I'm going to start, oh, I'm so flushed today. I'm gonna start on the right-hand side. I'm just gonna take the applicator and place 2 dots on the cheek. And then I'm gonna blend it out with a brush and get this hair off. Thank you. Okay, these are taking a bit to blend in. I don't think they're the easiest thing to blend. They're not overly emollient, if that helps at all. It's like slightly picking up the foundation underneath. I'm gonna build this up. It's not disturbing it. I don't think it's like lifting it, but it's definitely meshing with the powder that I put on my cheeks. Like especially like right here. It's definitely moving some of the product underneath. It's not terrible, it's just a little bit. Otherwise, I think it looks really good. Like it's buffing in really nicely. It looks airbrushed. That was a more buildable formula for sure. That wasn't like super intensely pigmented right away. So I like that. All right, let's go into Pinkalicious on this side. And I did 4 dots. So should we try that much product just to start with instead of going back in? Like so much air comes out of this. It's like pushing air onto your cheek. It's kind of funny. All right, different brush. Let's bounce it in. Oh, these take a little bit of work. Yes, they do. Hello, hair. Okay, so maybe the trick is building it up because these are a little bit trickier to blend in. I don't love that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't love the way that blends in. I'm just going ham now. I don't think that was even either. What I was getting out of it was like missing spots down here where I didn't put the applicator. It takes a lot of product for me I think, to blend it out the way that I like, but also to build up the pigment that I like as well. They look super nice once you're done buffing them in. It's just a little bit more work. For $5.99 though, these aren't bad. This one is a lot drier. Okay, I can see like a slight bit of radiance on the side with coral, but then over here, doesn't this almost look matte? And that's the one that I said almost looked like it had like the slight bit of radiance. This Pinkalicious shade, I think, dries down faster than the other ones. Like tiny bit of radiance over here, like nothing over here, like completely matte. I don't feel like they're exactly the same. They're very nice though, like super airbrush looking when they go on upon first impressions. It was just an exercise of applying, spreading, applying again and spreading instead of like 4 dots, you know, like laying it super heavy on the cheeks. It kind of started to dry where I laid it. So I felt like I kind of had to re-emulsify it. I like them though. Like so far that was super easy. I could see these being products that I end up liking and really incorporating into my everyday makeup and like talking about later. And for $5.99, they're comparable dupes to the matte wands from Charlotte Tilbury. Like the performance from the matte wands from Charlotte seemed very similar to this. All right, let's take this off and let's go into the Dusty Rose shade, which is the one that I'm gonna end up leaving on. I am using the Revlon Skin Caring foundation. I like this one. It's good to take on and off. I had powdered my face before, so you know, these may not lay the greatest on top of powder, at least that coral shade, but this time I threw a powder bronzer down. I did not set my face with any powder. So let's go into this guy. And we're gonna do both sides. Why does this seem like a more emollient formula? Yeah, the coral one and this one just seem juicier. I'm gonna take the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch blush brush and apply this to this side. Yeah, this one is so much juicier. All 3 of these are not the same. Some are a little bit more emollient than others. And 2 dots on this was plenty on this color, where with both of the other ones, I felt like I was building up a little bit more. Now, it could be the brush that I was using was taking some of the pigment, was just picking up some of the product, could have been it. This is a little bit more of a dense brush than the other 2. And also, I'm not sticking it on top of powder. Like, I put powder bronzer down, but not like a mattifying powder. I kind of feel like it picked up just a little bit right there. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Now I'm just like lightly tapping. I feel like I have one like spot right there that lifted. I don't know why it's just that one spot. Is that the spot that I pressed the product in? Is that better? Am I pushing it in now? Yeah, it still looks like bald in that one spot right there. Weird. All right, let's go to the other side. This is definitely a true warm toned Dusty Rose shade, and I would have preferred a cooler toned blush, but that's okay. I'm gonna build it up again. These are so buildable. I don't think that I like them without like 4 dots, and I think I prefer building, like re-emulsifying the product to get it to build up instead of like going in super heavy initially. So I think I got a little bit of a patch like right there where I went back with the applicator. I feel like it's kind of lifting the product. Like, all right, just give it a second and then tap it in. Okay, it maybe isn't the easiest formula to work with. In a couple of spots, it definitely feels like it's lifting. I don't think it's like as smooth as the Flower Beauty blushes. I don't think it's as smooth as the Charlotte Tilbury blush wands. And I would say they're most comparable to the matte formula. This one again is pretty matte. It's like a satin finish because it's not flat, but it's not got any radiance, at least that I can really detect. It is completely dried down on my cheeks. There's no transfer, it's not wet. I still feel like I see this little freaking bald spot right there. All right, I'm just gonna cover it up, let it dry for 2.5 seconds, and then lightly tap it into the skin. Yeah, that's so much better. See, that little bald spot is gone. All right, let's talk about the scent. And I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I thought, did my brush, like, does it have cleaner on it or something? These smell like perfume. Essence sometimes has a tendency to put scents in their products, which I think are so strange. They're almost added fragrances like luxury brands. These have a very strong, like perfumey floral scent. That is the best way to describe it, like floral. Yeah. Last year when they came out with the Baby Got Blush stick and the contour stick, they had a scent. They had like a fruity scent to them. These smell like maybe rose. It's definitely floral and it definitely smells like, I don't know, maybe a luxury brand added fragrance scent. All right, let's put on the liquid highlighter. These again retail for $5.99 and the 3 shades that they come in are Sassy and Silk, which is this one, which is more of a pure champagne color, and then Rose and Shine, which is a rosy toned champagne, I guess, and then Breezy Bronze, which is their deepest. It's not a deep bronze shade based on this picture. So same thing on this, just the little holes in the middle. I don't know, I'm telling you guys, I kind of like that. Like, see how this is kind of like a creamier texture? Like, it's not super emollient. It's almost like a drier formula. It's not bad though. It's just different, and maybe that's like why it lifts on itself. This one smells like vanilla. They scented this to smell like vanilla. Essence, why do you need to do that? It's a liquid highlighter. It's like cookie scented. Maybe not even vanilla, it's cookie scented. There's the swatch. It's really subtle. Very subtle. We know Essence can do super subtle, but this is subtle. I'm so nervous about this laying on top of the blush nicely because this feels like a bit of a drier formula. I'm probably gonna take a sponge on the other side, but I just wanted to try it with a brush, and it's just staying where I laid it. Okay. All right. Oopsie daisy. I'm gonna just take my sponge and just kind of like stamp this out. That's better. It's pretty. It didn't blend the greatest at all, did it? No. Okay. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand now, which is like, to me, totally defeats the purpose when you get these sponge style applicators. And I'm gonna pick it up on another little sponge and tap it onto the cheeks and see how that looks. Yeah, a lot better. A lot more seamless. Flower Beauty, when they came out with their highlighting wands last year, laid on the cheeks and like didn't move. You couldn't really buff it in super well. And so while I liked the contour a lot better because it was a little bit more of an emollient texture, this one is a little bit more on the dry side. So again, it's kind of doing like what the Flower Beauty highlighting wand did for me, which is just kind of lay in that one spot. This one blended in so much nicer when I picked it up from my hand. I can already tell these aren't going to be the easiest formula to work with. I definitely think they're buildable, but I think that they lift on themselves like once you start building, which is a downside to the product because I feel like you do have to build it. I still think for $6, practically speaking, I would definitely use these for the blushes themselves. The highlighter, I don't know. That's probably going to take a little bit more testing for me to decide whether or not it's a liquid highlighter formula that I really like. When I'm dealing with a liquid highlighter, I do like it to be really emollient, like a super, super creamy formula, almost something that you could mix in with your blushes. This might be a little bit on the dry side for me personally. It's hard to say that it's a terrible formula because I'm here critiquing a $6 blush. I think that it's fairly comparable in terms of all the different dupes that I have tried. The ones from Tarte, the ones from e.l.f., the ones from Flower Beauty at this point, and even Kiko Milano has done dupes in these like puffy style applicators to Charlotte. So I would not say that these are amongst the worst in terms of the dupes. I would still say that my Charlotte matte wands are better. They're just a lot more expensive. I would totally be willing to work with a formula like this for $6 in replacement of the Charlotte Tilbury matte wands that I love so much to save coin. So hopefully that helps you guys. I'd love to hear in the comments below if you were interested in testing these out. Have you picked them up already? What do you guys think about it? If you guys are not currently subscribed to my channel, I would love to see you subscribe, you guys. I am out of here for today, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.